West Cork, West Cork, West Cork, home of the Fastnet lighthouse, bank holiday tailbacks on the N71, and General Michael Collins.
If they shut me up, who'll take my place? Who's going to take my place?
In 2018, more than 2.7 million people came to Cork from outside the county, with a large percentage of those venturing west of the Kinsale Road Roundabout. For a region so dependent on welcoming visitors to our towns, villages and islands, the last 24 months have been particularly difficult. But with the pandemic years almost behind us, what does the future hold for tourism in West Cork?
I personally, when I see like Broad Strand or Guardstown and I see those big giant kites up in the air, I think we really have it all here. We really have it all. And if we put the proper facilities in place and if we promote it, I really think we can position ourselves as like a Queenstown in New Zealand, who have this reputation for being the outdoor adventure capital of the world. We have it all here.
That's Fianna Fáil TD Christopher O'Sullivan from Clonakilty, who strongly believes West Cork has the potential to become a world-class tourist destination to rival the likes of Queenstown in New Zealand. The southwest of Ireland is already the most popular region for tourists outside of Dublin, and Cork is the second most visited county after the capital. Over 2.7 million people visited the county in 2018, generating €833 million for the economy. But of the top 5 paid attractions in the county, there is only one west of the city, and that is Charles Fort in Kinsale. That means there is plenty of scope for developing more to see and do in West Cork, and to get an even bigger share of that €833 million, a figure that is set to grow as we emerge from the pandemic years. One area West Cork has always excelled in is hospitality. But despite a bumper summer expected, it's an industry that has faced its fair share of challenges in the last 2 years, as Neil Grant, General Manager of the Celtic Ross Hotel in Rosscarbery, explains.
We're a 66-bedroom hotel, but we're only selling 58 rooms at max. And we also have, obviously, capacity, upper limits that we can accommodate in the restaurant and such like, which I think gives for a nice experience when you're in. When you get a reservation and when you're in the hotel, but it does cause a little bit of anxiety when people are trying to book a table or they want to bring a family gathering. And, we all know the protocols, but it's not completely, as much as we think it is, it's not completely common knowledge to everyone else. So for them, they can't quite understand why we're being cautious. I think the other thing is obviously staff. I've heard a lot of things, around the industry that a lot of talent has left the hospitality industry, and we're the same. We lost a number of people at the tail end of last year, but we've got a good number that stayed with us this time round. And I think, it's even trying to find kind of hourly waiters and waitresses is a bit of a challenge at the moment.
Despite the obvious challenges, there remains plenty of reason to be optimistic as we gear up for the big summer influx. Cork County Council has invested significantly in the magnificently located Camden Fort Mar in Crosshaven, and the Mizenhead Visitor Centre is already a well-established attraction. With the likes of the little-known Bantry Blueway mapped route for kayakers launched in 2015, there are always more attractions coming down the tracks. The popular new Bantry Marina, with its serviced bays for campervans, was opened in 2017, and this month a brand new hostel has opened on Whiddy Island. In fact, our beautiful islands are still a hidden gem for many of our regular visitors. While the 7 inhabited islands and the garden paradise of Garnish near Glengariff could be the jewels of our tourism offering, there are dozens more that are less well known. The islands of Hare, Bear, Sherkin, Cape Clear, Long Island and Dursey are really upping their tourism game lately, with glamping sites, distilleries and boat trips, and now Whiddy is set to join its 6 sisters by making a big push to attract more guests, as we discovered on a recent trip to the Bantry Bay Island. Ex-fisherman John Sheehan has been driving the Whiddy ferry for 2 years and has already seen a spike in visitors since the new hostel opened on the island.
Oh, definitely, aye, definitely. There's people, like last week in Tuskful, there was 30 people staying there. I suppose they're over it, I'm not too sure, but it was full anyway, you know.
People coming out for the first time, so? People are coming for the first time?
Oh yeah, first time, yeah.
What can they make of it?
Oh, delighted with it, absolutely delighted. I can come and go as they please, like. Give me a few jars in the pub, what more could you ask for?
One of the people most responsible for the rejuvenation of Whiddy Island is ferry operator, bar owner, and now hostel host, Tim O'Leary.
So my name is Tim O'Leary, and myself and my wife Kathleen, we bought the old schoolhouse here on the island and we developed it and we just finished it here. And we also run the ferry services, and we run a pub and a restaurant on the pier as you land the Bankhouse Bar and Restaurant where we serve delicious food. Yeah, I suppose we came to this project we started running the Bankhouse about 9 or 10 years ago, and it was very apparent to me nearly straight away that we needed accommodation on the island, and it had always been my dream to do something with the schoolhouse. So we started in that. It was a kind of very complicated process because the church owned it, but they only had a lease on it because the landlord at the time had given them the ground to build it. So, like, everyone was very helpful to us, but it's just the way these things work. It took about 2 or 3 years, maybe a little bit more, to sort it out. So then we had to get funding in place, and I suppose we changed our designs 3 or 4 times. And yeah, we started, and then COVID hit in the middle of it, and then, you know, little bits and bobs. But so now we opened here now. We opened a little bit just before Christmas last year, and then COVID resurged again. So we're open now. This is our second weekend open.
And tell us a bit about, like, how many beds and...
Yeah, so we have the main schoolhouse is here, and we dug out the playground and we put the accommodation in the back, and we preserved the old schoolhouse as a kind of a common room or a meeting room. And it has 8 bedrooms that can accommodate 2 7s, 2 2s and 4 4s, and they can be in any variety of uses. So we have 26 beds in total, and 8 of those are double, so if our maximum capacity would be 34 people.
As well as his many, many jobs on the island, Tim is also a more than competent tour guide, as he demonstrated when showing us around Whiddy's new hostel.
It is, yeah, this is the kitchen area here now. Okay. This is the self-service kitchen. So as I said, you have if you're staying here, you have your toasters, you can bring some food to heat up with you. We have Foreman grills if you want to do a bit of cooking. And we have cereals and breads and jams and butters. And so you'd have plenty for your breakfast if you stay here. Mm-hmm. I suppose we better start in the old building. Yeah. This building then, it's actually hard to believe, in 1930 there was 80 children inside in this room every day going to school. So the building was completely derelict. I have a photo here I can show you of the building if you want to see what it looked like before we started. It's here somewhere now. That would have been 5th and 6th class in 1930. And this would have been the building under construction. What year were you here? I left here in 1982.
But of course, Tim has never really left the old schoolhouse on Whiddy Island, and with the hostel now open for business, he has some big plans for the future.
But you're like, you know, it's early days yet, we're all still finding our feet after COVID, and it's nice that there seems to be a little bit of normality returning to life at the moment anyway, and yeah, I think people are eager to get out to places like these. You know, it doesn't matter how long you're closed, when you have to open up after a year and a half, you're just throwing the kitchen sink at it to get everything ready and to get open and get stuff going, and even just to get into the hang and the swing of things again. So from now until the end of August will be just, you know, survival, we'll say, and coping with people and our coping with crowds and getting it all done. But then I think in September and in longer term then we'll be looking to do things to extend the season.
With Whiddy and our other offshore islands hopefully set to blossom as the country continues to reopen, another strand to West Cork life that has been attracting visitors from near and far is our world-renowned food culture. Michelin stars have become synonymous with the region, with the likes of Chestnut in Ballydehob, Dady in Baltimore, and Bastion in Kinsale, all currently in possession of the coveted awards. This reputation as a foodie destination is something Helen Collins, chair of A Taste of West Cork Food Festival, believes is essential to the West Cork experience.
I think by just even turning up to the Saturday market in Skibbereen and obviously the equivalent markets in the other towns in West Cork, and you see the amount of visitors that are there, it's a hugely important part of the West Cork experience. I mean, for people that don't live by the seaside, I think the idea of coming to a seaside place like West Cork and having the incredible fresh produce we have out of the sea, particularly like the prawns, the mussels, the oysters and all of that, is an essential part of the experience. The reputation of West Cork food is like just huge. And I think certainly from all the visitors that I speak with, they want to see where it comes from. They want to meet the producers. They want to experience the food. They want to sit outside the pub in Courtmacsherry or Baltimore or Schull or wherever and eat their crab claws or have their mussels. It's all part of the joy, the complete joy of being in West Cork.
This year may well become known as the year of the artisan food truck, a phenomenon that came into its own during the pandemic and which those in the industry believe is here to stay. Here's Neil Grant of the Celtic Ross Hotel again on the opening of Craft, the hotel's resident food truck, and what it meant to their business throughout the pandemic.
That's been great. I think it's brought us a new demographic, and it's incredible how many new visitors it's brought to our website. So it's been a game changer in that way, that it's got us to new audiences and it's got us national coverage and publicity. It's amazing how much a food truck can attract nationwide kind of attention. So it's been fantastic.
So with hospitality, island life and the West Cork food scene all well placed to bounce back, another sector that has also been enjoying its own renaissance is film. The Fastnet Film Festival in Schull has become a hugely popular niche festival that punches way above its weight on the international stage. Oscar-winning producer David Putnam is a patron of the festival, as is Oscar-nominated actor Saoirse Ronan, who provided this year's virtual welcome message.
Hello to everyone in Schull and welcome to the Fastnet Film Festival 2021.
Here's Fastnet Film Festival Director Hilary McCarthy on the positive impact the industry has had on the region in recent years.
Well, in 2008, when the festival started, it was our first year, a feature film, The Runway, was shot in and around the area of Schull and West Cork. And the spend was about €60,000 a day, which is huge for the area. So everything from accommodation, catering, you've got extras, and you have all sorts of requirements for people shooting a film. It also brings in tourists, because obviously people get to see how beautiful the area is. And then that has a spin-off on businesses in town, shops, and people then end up relocating to the area, and then you have more people in schools and the whole community benefits. So it's vital for the area, and we've benefited by so many films in the area over the last number of years.
West Cork is also garnering a reputation as a great region for producing top-class actors, such as Schull's Ayula Smart, who recently starred in Bantry woman Kate O'Riordan's Smother, and Skibbereen's Megan Cusack, who stars in BBC's hit show Call the Midwife. Here's Hilary McCarthy again.
Well, I think the future is really very bright for film here in West Cork. I mean, there's a great amount of films being made and a lot of talk about films being made, and there seems to be a little bit more support financially from the various cohorts. So definitely we can see the future is bright.
Another huge growth area in coastal tourism over the last number of years has been the ability to share with visitors the variety of wildlife on our doorstep. West Cork now rivals anywhere in the world for its sightings of whales, basking sharks and dolphins. Before his election to Dáil Éireann, Christopher O'Sullivan worked in the whale watching business, and it's a sector he's passionate about.
Any Sunday that I get the opportunity, I will be, you may be sure that you'll find me out on the North Atlantic looking for humpback whales, fin whales, minke whales and dolphins. And look, it's not just whale watching. I've said time and time again, I really think that West Cork can be the European capital of outdoor activities. Whale watching we've spoken about, and look, the footage of that speaks for itself. You have some of the biggest animals that have ever roamed the planet just right off the coast here. I mean, if Niall went up to the top floor of the Cross Hotel and looked out towards Gallyhead, there's a good chance that he'll see some humpback whale activity or fin whale activity at the moment. So that's well documented, and I think I would encourage people to come to the Cork coast and try and avail of that. But there's so much else. Kayaking, is such a wonderful experience. And if you can come to West Cork and avail of one of the many guided tours here, it can be done in such a safe manner. And then, you throw night kayaking into that mix, and it's one of the most special experiences you can have anywhere in the planet.
So, with all the tools in place for a quick revival of the West Cork tourism industry, what can we expect from summer 2021? We leave the last word to Whiddy ferryman John Sheehan.
I would think the signs are good anyway, and if people staycate like as they're supposed to, like, there's enough, you can't go anywhere outside the country, so they should build up here and make it busier, like really it should do, like. And the signs are there already that there are people appearing around that wouldn't normally be here,